Hi, I'm Brian.
And I'm Bruce.
And this is Just Beneath the Surface, episode 16. We finally got it right. Finally learned how to count.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Just Beneath the Surface, Bruce, we talk about this a lot. You came up with this idea a few years ago. Just a quick summary. This is where we talk about the Twilight Zone.
Which we love. The original 1959 to 1964, created by Rod Serling, who was from upstate New York, as I recall.
A classic series that we think today, the lessons from the old show still have merit and are worth re-examining.
Yeah, and as he did, if you read his book on the Twilight Zone, big one like this, I mean, he wanted to make comment on social things and on lifestyles and what people think and believe and all that kind of stuff, which is, I think, is great. And good or bad, right or wrong, things haven't changed since 1959 to 1964, and we're still doing the same things.
And there are some themes that carry from episode to episode, and we kind of wanted to look at one of those themes today, that being love.
What?
Love in the Twilight Zone. Yes.
Love.
You can even find love in the Twilight Zone. And so what we did was we went through all the episodes.
No, I'm not going to do that.
We went through all the episodes and said, which one of these, could if we were going to do a Valentine's Day episode per se, which Twilight Zone episodes would we want to
Which we'll do for Valentine's 2026.
Exactly. So we're going to have this episode on the air long before then. But,
yes.
Or on the
But that way they can enjoy it that much longer.
Yes. So we found four. Actually, we found more than four, but we got four that we're going to talk about today, and I'm going to kick it over to Bruce to kick us off with the first one. Bruce, what did you pick as your first love-centric episode?
The first one is the episode 2, which was in, let me see, hold on a second, which is season 3.
It's the season 3 premiere.
Right, and it stars Charles Bronson and Elizabeth Montgomery from Bewitched,
let me ask
and Charles Bronson from The Great Escape and a bunch of other movies, Death Wish and all that
This
stuff.
was before they were both household names, right? This is kind of like a first outing for both of them.
Yes,
because she doesn't even look like Samantha from Bewitched in this episode.
Yes, she does.
No, she's got the dark hair and she's all kind of gothy.
Oh, yeah, because she's, you'll see what it, but ain't bad. Not that I mean in any event, but...
Tell us the plot of 2.
The plot is it shows Cameron and it's a desolated city, all blown to bits and all that kind of stuff. And they show Elizabeth Montgomery, and then later on you see Charles Bronson, and the city is deserted, and there's nothing there, and it's all rubble and all that, which means there's been a war there, and everything is wiped out. And supposedly there's nobody alive in the city, and nobody has walked the streets for 5-6 years or so.
But we see signage all over: defeat the enemy, join our services.
He's got it. And so eventually Elizabeth meets up with Charles Bronson, and they get together. When they first meet, Charles Bronson, which you wouldn't see today, he gives her a pop like this and knocks her on the ground. But when she wakes up, he gives her some food. So Elizabeth Montgomery starts following him around to clean up and all that stuff.
I'll jump off on that point right there. This episode does not age very well because there's a thing in here where he finds this beautiful dress hanging in a store, and he says, "Put it on."
No,
he says that to her, and she doesn't initially. They have this back and forth, but then I'm not giving away too much here. But at the very end, she shows up. She's wearing the dress because she is acquiesced. And I watched this recently, and I thought, what would Gloria Steinem think of this episode? But
whoever she is,
yes.
But in any event, when they see the dress, she goes Kaporinsky in Russian or something. Whatever beautiful is in Russian, Kaporinsky or something like that. And he does say put it on, but he doesn't say put it on.
Yes, he does.
Okay, but so she goes to put it on, and when she goes into the other thing to look and looks at him, says get out of here or something. Doesn't say, they don't talk really too much. She's putting on, she sees a poster on the wall about the war and about the two enemies, and they have on different uniforms, which means one's one army, one's maybe Russian American, and so she looks at it and goes, and so she puts on the dress, gets a rifle, and she shoots at Charles Bronson, but it's like a ray gun.
It's like a laser beam.
It's a beam, beam, beam. But she misses him, and she probably could have hit him. So, and she's holding it like on him, and he's going like, "What's the story?" I thought we were, and she's kind of like just holding, and so he walks off. Just okay. I'm out of here. So it goes on, and then there's one night where it's raining and all that, and she's lonely and all this sort of stuff. So eventually it shows near the end that Charles Bronson's coming out of where he lives, and he's changed his uniform from a uniform. I think he's wearing a tuxedo or something with no shirt. Because Charles Bronson was like me, like Brian back then, built like a.
I think the theme is that the both of them are trying to put the war behind them and adapt that this is our life now, and we should be, happy and friendly with each other.
Right, and if you believe that, I gotta. Oh no. So he's coming down, and he's got a couple of what I eventually found out, a couple of cans of peaches, because I guess food is very hard to come by. Yeah. He's coming down, and he hears something.
It looks just like the town Anthony lived in It's a Good Life. You know, there's nothing left. Peaches, canned tomato soup.
It's a good thing you said that. it's a real good.
All the conveniences are
Perry
gone.
Como. Okay, wrong episode. But so he hears something. He looks out, and he sees her, and she's behind a car. And he's like, "Get out of here! This is a no-war zone. You go back and go back to your own war." And she kind of meekly, she steps out, and she's wearing the dress.
Right.
And he looks at it, and he's like,
"Hubba hubba."
I guess he was thinking that from Charles Bronson. And so
remember, this is Elizabeth Montgomery in her prime.
Like he's not.
Anyway,
not prime.
Is it a happy ending for the two of them?
Yes, and what happens is he walks down and he looks at her and he says the word in Russian, Kaporinsky, or beautiful, to her. And he flips her a can of peaches. And she grabs it, and she's got the dress on, and she's still got her rifle, and he's got his. And so he starts walking down the lonely street where there's nobody there. And she starts walking, but she's walking 3 steps behind him. And all of a sudden he stops, and he's walking down, and he just turns like this, and she's over here, and she walks up like this, and she faces him, and they're just facing each other, like almost. And at the very end, they're just like, and she gives a little smile, which is the first part of emotion and love,
and I
which
think,
is a great love story to me.
And Serling tells us that they have found love in the Twilight Zone, and that's the ending of our first story.
And then they go down the street and walk out. But I just thought it was like good, and to relate it to today, if people could not blow up cities and just have more love. I know that's kind of silly to say, but
and when your man tells you to put on a dress, put it on.
Yeah, whether you're a man or a woman.
Exactly.
Because we don't discriminate.
No. So let's move on to the next one, Bruce.
Which is yours.
This is one that I chose that I really like. It's called The Chaser, and I think the title has multiple meanings, which I'll get to in a minute. But
he's almost got this story right.
It comes from season 3, and it is the story of a gentleman named Mr. Roger Shackleforth.
Really? Wow, you're good.
Roger is head over heels in love with this woman named Leela. And I believe Serling tells us in the beginning that Leela has a vague recollection of what his face looks like and even less interest in him as a person.
But she is so good looking, she can get any man, and she doesn't like Roger, and she kind of just blows him off.
Roger is wasting all of his time and effort on a woman who
calling her every 5 minutes, and can I come over and just look at you? You know you guys out there who do that. Right.
So Roger, as the episode starts, he's in New York City. He's in a public phone booth, and he's hogging the phone because nobody could find a phone in New York City in 1960. And this gentleman comes in and he says...
That was a joke.
Actually, that's dialogue in the episode.
Is it?
Yes, at the very beginning, this guy, he gives him the card, and he says, I overheard your whole conversation. You need to go see this man.
Oh, right.
He's the only one who can help you. And the man is, he calls him Professor. The credits of this episode refer to him as Demon. That's the only name we get from the guy.
They don't refer to it in the episode.
No, they don't. It's just how he's credited.
If you go to Google or Wiki or something.
Not to spoil it, but at the very end, Demon disappears right there in a cloud of smoke. But anyway, so Roger goes to him and he says, oh, this gentleman gave me your card. I don't really know why I'm here, but I says, well, what do you want? He says, all I want is Leela. And the professor, he says, all he wants is Leela. Somebody wants Glenn. Somebody wants Sally. He wants Leela.
Somebody wants love.
And I know why you're here.
Love. That's all you want. You guys come in here all the time.
I've got potions. I've got concoctions. I've got toxins. I've got antitoxins. I've got everything you need.
And he's kind of like in a library up on a ladder and stuff. So.
But what you want is Leela, and it's only cost you $1.
$1.
$1. But he also talks about another product he has called glove cleaner. And we're never exactly told as to what glove cleaner is. That's open to interpretation, but it's way more expensive. It's $1,000.
Which I thought was love cleaner, but go ahead.
Yes. So anyway, Roger says $1 for Leela's love. That's a bargain. So he buys it. And
I buy it.
Yeah.
I don't even know Leela.
Now, again, we often talk about how Serling was ahead of his time, and I think this is another example of it because Roger puts the concoction into her drink, the 1960 equivalent of a roofie, if you will.
Of a what?
Of a roofie, in that he puts it into her drink, and all of a sudden she'll do whatever he wants.
What's a roofie?
You've never heard of a roofie?
No.
It's what men used to make women unconscious, and then...
the drug rape.
Yeah, exactly.
Drug.
Yes.
Roofie.
It's a date rape drug. Yeah.
How do you know that so well?
It's in the news. I've heard about it. But anyway, that's what the guy does. Although it turns her instantly 180 from where she was, and that she's madly, passionately
I love you.
And here's the thing.
My dream boat.
Exactly. And it never wears off. I mean, it's just not going to go away.
On and on and on. Which at first is probably great.
He's all ecstatic about it. And then after a commercial break, we come back, and it's 6 months later. They're now happily married. He's sitting there reading the paper, and she's like, "Can I get you something?
Can I rub your feet?
And he says, "No,
Are your feet cold? Are your feet hot?"
And she says, "Did it disturb you when I asked you about that?"
That's right.
He says, "No."
That's right.
And then she says, "Did it disturb you when I asked you if it disturbed you?" He's like, "I gotta get out of here."
I know. So Too much love. Now, is that possible? I don't know.
So he goes back to see our friend the professor in the curio shop, and and even though it's 6 months later, the professor says, "Oh yeah, I remember you.
I know why you're here.
I've been waiting for you to come back. You want the glove cleaner, don't you?"
Which I thought was Love Cleaner, but I think I got it mixed up. I don't know. If you watched the episode, you would think. Okay, go ahead.
And this is something that Bruce and I had a little debate about before the show tonight. We were going back and forth as to what exactly the glove cleaner is supposed to do, because Serling and Buck Houghton, they were genius in that they never specifically say what the glove cleaner is.
Right.
But Demon, or Professor, whatever you want to call him, he tells us that she won't smell it, she won't taste it, she won't feel in any pain.
It's not traceable.
Completely untraceable.
Right, untraceable.
So I interpret that to mean that it's poison, that he's going to kill Leela.
And after he battered it into me, I kind of believe what he says, but I thought it was Love Cleaner, and all it would do was make Leela not love him, not kill her, because I thought giving somebody a poison to kill him on the Twilight Zone, although it is sci-fi and fantasy and horror and all, I thought that would be too much for them back then. And why does he say Love Cleaner, which is close to Love Cleaner? I think they were trying to be obtuse or something.
I never heard it that way. I always heard it as Glove Cleaner. And in fact, for years, I associated Glove Cleaner with a whole other episode. I was confusing it. But anyway, I think it's... When he goes back, he puts the glove cleaner into her drink, and they're about to drink champagne again like they did in the beginning. And what does she do, Bruce? What is she showing?
I got a secret for you, honey. Honey bun, Mr. Marshmallow. Bunny!
And he sees these little baby booties that she's knitting, and he drops it. And
he drops both drinks, which has the glove cleaner in it.
And it's at this point that he says, "That's okay. I couldn't have gone through with it anyway."
That's the argument I get, that he's not going to just make her not love her. He's going to actually kill her.
I think Love Cleaner was killer. And as Serling wraps up the episode, he tells us that love can be as sticky as molasses, as Mr. Roger Shackleford found in the Twilight Zone.
In the Twilight. That's so. See, you learn something every day. So.
Yes. Bruce, take it back. What's your next episode?
Next one is, and you see mine don't happen to the very end, but it's called A Passage for Trumpet, which was in what year?
Season 3, I believe.
Season 1.
Season 1.
Okay, and that stars Jack Klugman as a down-and-out trumpet player who's also an alcoholic, and it starts off with him at a blues place, and the trumpet music they're playing is actually, what I like is the old blues stuff like Harry James and all that kind of stuff, not the more recent stuff. But in any event, so he sees the guy, and the manager comes out, and he goes, "Hey, can I blow my horn from you? I've got off the booze for 6 months and all that." And Jack Klugman picks up his thing, and drops a bottle and smashes. He goes, "You're still drinking." So he goes and says, so he goes to a pawn shop, and he's going to hawk his trumpet. And the guy goes, "I'll give you $8.50 for it." He's like, "I'll take it, $8.50. And the guy goes, "You're killing me. You're selling me. Only giving me $8.50. He goes, "Well, you have no responsibilities, Jack Klugman. You're a loser. You have nothing. You have nothing, Jack Klugman."
Who are you, my father?
Yeah. Sorry about that. So my fault. Painful. But anyway, so Klugman walks out on the street, and he goes, "Yeah, I have nothing." And he sees a truck coming around, and he just throws himself in front of the truck, and he gets knocked down, and he's down like this. And then later on,
I thought for a second Bruce was driving that truck.
Yeah, I would never hit him on. I think Jack Klugman is one of the best actors in the Twilight Zone.
We need to devote a whole episode to his 4 episodes, I think it was, because
3 at least.
He did a handful of episodes.
He was Game of Pool and Praise for Pip, and they were very good. But So then the next scene is he wakes up and it's nighttime, so you know some time has passed. And the cop is standing there, and he gets up and Jack Klugman gets up and he goes,
"How you doing?
Hi, I didn't mean to step in front of the truck," and the cop's like looking over here.
And I'm starting to have flashbacks at this point to The Hunt, one of our favorite episodes, which we talked about.
Right.
Because nobody's talking to him.
Right, nobody's recognizing him. So he goes up to another guy. Do you have a light? He ignores him. Goes up to the woman in the theater. She ignores him. And they have the old mirror trick, where he walks up to the mirror and he can't see himself. So anyway, it goes on and he walks in back, and all of a sudden he's back in like where the trumpet players were playing with the.
And he meets a gentleman.
A guy's playing a trumpet, and it's a guy, John Anderson, I think is his real name.
Yeah, he was also in another episode.
Yes, he is. Old Man in the Cave.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So he's playing trumpet, and Jack Nicholson goes, "Oh, you play really well." And Anderson goes, "Hey, you want to try it?" And so then Jack Klugman plays it, and it's great. And he goes, "You play really good." And he goes, "Yeah, but I'm dead," and all that sort of stuff. And he goes,
No, you're not dead.
No, you're not dead. You're not. Well, what are those people? Well, those people are dead.
They're dead. And it's incredible. This is my only criticism with this episode is that everybody who's dead, they're all like in their 20s and 30s. How come there's no dead people who are like grandparents' age?
Because by 2050 we can all live to 500 years old.
Okay.
But So then he says to him, "Hey, Jack Klugman, you still have a chance. You still have an opportunity. If you want to go back or you want to be dead, you can go either way if you think your life's that bad." And that's one of the reasons it's about love, but one of the reasons I love this episode that,
Jack,
he was an alcoholic. He was down on his luck, which I know about, and it's tough when you're down there because you don't think you get shot and nobody cares about you, and you're just like swirling around at the bottom of the bottle.
So Klugman decides that he's going to become a trumpeter again. And
yes.
Who is the trumpeter who gave him this inspiration?
Gabriel, which I think when we could put it at the bottom, I think wasn't Gabriel the guy, the angel who blew the trumpet, right? Yeah. With the trumpets and all that stuff. So he goes, "What's your name?" "Gabe," short for Gabriel.
Gabriel. You could say this was a pitch from the angels.
Yeah, very good. What happens next is he gets
this
back
is where
up.
The love scene finally comes.
Well, not yet, but hold on. Now you go back to where in the daytime when he got hit, he gets back up, and the truck driver that hit him gets out and goes, "Hey man, I got insurance. I don't want to get bit. Here's some money." So he gives him, I think, a 20, and now he's got the 8 and 20, and he goes back into the pawn shop, and it's $25 now from 8.5, and he goes, "I'll buy it," and he goes like, "This was the money," which I liked, and he buys his old trumpet back, and the next thing you see, he's on top of his roof, and he's playing the trumpet, and it has a picture of him like this, and then it shows him like this, and there's a woman standing behind him, and she came up the door.
Long story short, they end up falling in love, and she says, "Won't you take me on a tour of the city? I've never been to New York before."
Right. Well, the part I like though that I really think is love is like they're just back and forth talking, and he kind of like looking down at the ground, and she's looking down at the ground, and she goes, "Well, I may not like New York City." "Oh, you like it, Jack Klugman." Yeah. He goes, "Well, maybe you can show me around." And Jack Klugman looks up and goes, "Me?
Yeah.
Me?"
And that's
which
love.
I've done that. When anybody these looks at me, I go, "Me?"
Let's talk about one more look at love in the Twilight Zone.
And that was
before we move
so
on.
They got together, and I thought that was the best scene when they says, "Yeah, I can bring you under the battery and do all this stuff." So that's that.
Now we're going to talk about a mother's eternal love for her son, as exemplified in the excellent episode "Young Man's Fancy," which is a fantastic one if you've never seen it.
When you picked this, I was like, "What?"
It did. It's about
Young Man's Fancy, love.
As Serling tells us in the beginning, it is we are introduced to what's his name? Alex Walker is his name, and
very good.
Alex Walker.
Henrietta too, right?
Henrietta Walker is the mother.
Right.
Yes. So Alex Walker is the perennial bachelor, we are told. He's got this girlfriend named Virginia, and Virginia has been waiting for years and years to marry Alex. But the one holdout here has been Henrietta, the mother.
13 years to be exact.
Henrietta has Alex is a mama's boy, plain and simple. He can't do anything without mama's permission. But now that mom has finally passed on, he and Virginia have just tied the knot. They went to a justice of the peace.
Right.
They come back to the house.
To sell the house.
They're going to sell the house. They're going to go on their honeymoon. They're going to
everything is fine. Love, exciting, and okay.
But everything in the house, it's stuck in time. Like
reminds him of his childhood.
Yes, the grandfather clock doesn't work anymore.
But now it's working.
All of the appliances are from 30 years ago. This was the only flaw I had with the episode was when
With the fudge?
No, when we're showing the distinction between 30 years ago, which is 1930, and present day, 1960.
Right.
We're seeing all these appliances, like you see a 1930 vacuum cleaner, then a 1960 vacuum
right.
cleaner. But
1930s phones.
But in 2025, they're all outdated to me, so that didn't age very well. As I was watching this, it didn't track.
Like you, right?
That doesn't make much sense to me. But
okay.
But anyway. What's going on here is that as he's starting to look at his old things, his toys, the clothes that Mom kept for him, he starts thinking, Mom, it was so great when I lived here, and she always.
Like some people, I think, would want to go back to their childhood because they don't like adult life.
She would.
Like who would you think of as like that?
We would sit here at the radio and we would listen to Mom's favorite song. It was something I forget off the top of my head, but.
Yeah, that's right, on the album. And the magazines, the beauty magazines.
It was a movie magazine. Yeah, modern movie magazine from the 30s.
Modern Glamour or something.
And they have the TV and the vacuum cleaner and all that. So, but anyway, Virginia, the bride, she's desperately trying to get him out of the house. Pack your bags. We're going on.
Sign the papers to sell the house.
Sell the house. We got to get out of here. But he won't get out of the toy chunk, the toy chest. He keeps looking at his
right,
thing.
and he's like, well, maybe we can fix up this house and keep that. No, we're not keeping this house. The wife says.
So he disappears upstairs doing that stuff, and then all of a sudden the grandfather clock, which still says 2:30, and it said 2:30 in the whole episode, it starts back. And then the radio turns on, and we hear that song, that very song that
Perry
you mentioned.
Como.
Oh, if only. And we start getting these indications that something's going on here. Virginia's like, get out of here. We got to get out of here.
And I'll just say this. The wife was so patient and so understanding and so nice. I'd marry her.
Phyllis Thaxter was her name, by the way. If she looks familiar, it's because she plays Ma Kent in Superman the movie, 1978.
What?
Yeah, it's her. And I have been to her grave.
How do you know this?
I know this. I know who she is. Yeah.
He surprises me sometimes. I'm surprised he showed up today.
It had a weird... Oh, the headstone had a weird inscription on it. I can't remember off the top of my head.
That's good, though.
But anyway, so how does the episode end? The episode ends, Virginia wants out of the house, but all of a sudden, who's standing on the staircase?
Henrietta. Because the man is in his room looking at his little toys from when he was a little kid and stuff, like 10 years old.
And here's another flaw I have with it. Henrietta is wearing the exact same dress that she's wearing in the picture that we see in the house.
That's the point of it.
That's the point of it, but...
you don't want to... What do you want it to look like? 100 years old or something?
No, it should be...
She's
I think
the
it should have
age.
been. They just happen to take a picture on the day that she's wearing the same dress?
I guess so.
Okay. Anyway.
Mr. Picayune here.
And we have so what happens is she's standing there and she
You
goes
can't
up.
have him, the wife says.
The door opens and the husband is now like 10 years old.
Right.
Maybe younger. And he's wearing
10, yeah.
He's wearing the little clothes with the stockings that he was looking at earlier in the toy chest.
A boy wears stockings. My mother. Oh, my mother. Like the wall, the mother.
And Virginia yells, "Let him go! He's mine!"
Right.
And what does Henrietta say?
She goes, "I'm not doing this. It's not my fault." And that was a little twist right there because it's not him that's driving it. It's not the mother trying to pull him back in. It's the son.
It's the son
who is like
it's the house where there's no passage of time, and he doesn't want to get old or whatever. So he has the closing line where he goes over. He says, "Mom, can we go to the park and can we have ice cream? And we have 2 ice creams,
just like a little kid."
Oh yes,
and he looks like a little kid now.
And then the mom goes, this is creepy. The mom goes into the bedroom, it's like, and she goes in there, and then he looks out at Virginia, and she's just looking at him. And what does he say? This is the line that Bruce and I have been quoting for like 20 years.
And I got to forget it.
We love this line.
Go away, lady.
He said, Go away, lady. We don't need you anymore. And Virginia,
that is a great line. It's like... Virginia, it hits you like this.
Yeah, Virginia runs out of the house screaming, and Serling tells us that they got a quickie annulment, and that's the end of that.
Yeah, and she goes back to reality. He's going to live in fantasy world. But I mean, that episode with that line and watching that is sort of like watching It's a Good Life with Billy Mum. Those are the two that I still find difficult that I get cringes on.
Yeah.
Because the wife is so good trying to get the husband, and the husband is slowly moving away.
Those are 4 good examples of. Those are 4 good examples of. Those are 4 good examples of love
and
in the
that's
Twilight
5 good
Zone.
examples right there. He wants us to do 6. The puppy, little puppy.
So there were a couple others we didn't include in this. We'll just give them an honorable mention real quick. I did want to discuss The Lonely, which is a great story about Jack Warden and
falling in love with a robot, which you can do because I fell in love with my car, the Bonneville, 1998.
And then, Bruce, what was the other one you wanted to mention?
The trade-ins, which is about old people getting new bodies and that sort of stuff. And at the end, he decides not to get a new body because he only has enough money to get him a new body, not his wife. So he'd rather be old and be old with his old wife rather than be young and start over and his wife is still old, which is true love, which is the greatest thing, you know.
But we'll save those for future episodes. This is the point where we wrap it up. I think this is a great look at love in the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, kind of a different twist on some love, too. But
yeah, you don't want to fall in love in the Twilight Zone. I think that's a takeaway.
No, well, if you're a trumpet player and an alcoholic, you want to find her name was Nan in the episode.
Yeah.
And what a good girl.
But anyway, we're going to move on, and we'll save that for another time. And we want to thank you for joining us. Hit the notification bell.
Right. Subscribe and like. Is that
like us? Yeah. We need all the likes we can get.
And if you have any comments or suggestions for an episode we should do, because this was Brian's idea, and it was a good idea. Finally.
And check out our sister show, The VAF Zone. If you like cars, you might appreciate that as well.
Yeah, The VAF Zone. He's relatively intelligent and somewhat good-looking, but outside of that, he knows his cars.
And so until next time, I am Brian.
I am Bruce.
And we are just beneath the surface.
Goodbye. Love you.